Okay, now let's have a discussion on this. Social change and social order in rural and urban society. So social change and social order. So everything, if everything is functional, society, politics is doing its work, governance is doing its work, family is happy, economy is good, so social order is maintained. So what is social order? Functioning of a society. If in a society there is no problem, that is social order. You can write down the meaning for social order. If society is functioning normally, no major chaos, it is about social order. And social changes that we see in society, for instance, in the life of anyone, okay, we can see the changes in the economical production, the changes in the family marriage, kinship. So whenever we are finding the changes, okay, you can see this part. Social order is, for example, right now, in any society, you can take an example of Indian society. We do not have any problem in governance. Like we do have a political party, we do have a executives who are taking care of the political needs. So economy is also doing good, or families are not disturbed. So it is like social order is maintained. However, if you'll see, if you'll see economically, or if you'll see in a micro manner, India is in the verge of collapse, I would say. It's collapsing. Economy is not very good. Economical, environmental condition is not good. Whatsoever happening in the name of democracy, it's not good. Okay? So everything is like forced cooperation. We are forcing, we do not have any other option. Okay? And you can see that how the kind of protest you are seeing with respect to Aravali Hills, right? So we all know, even 11th class reader knows that how mountains are important. They cannot at any cost can be dangerous, right? We know that what is going on. So it's like a social order is nowadays, and it's disturbing. Now, if you just imagine what had happened during French Revolution. The monarchy level was totally collapsed, and people were talking about individual rights, liberty, equality, fraternity. So their social order got disturbed. Okay, so the way society was working, functioning, it got disturbed. That is a social order. So what we are reading in society, how social order is maintained, and how do we have social changes? This is what Auguste Comte have argued. Please write down. According to Auguste Comte, sociologists are interested in knowing how social order is maintained. And if it is once maintained, then why it gets changes? It's very simple. In any society, you do have a social order. What is social order? We see social order as an organism. So we know that in every society we have cultural universals such as polity, we have economy, okay, we do have social life, that is family, we do have religion. Now this is the social order, but always change. Example, in ancient India, what type of political order we have? King rule, right? Economy was controlled by king, and then we'll talk about later Vedic phase, caste system, okay? Religion also by Hindu culture, and the family is also running by the religion. It was a social order. Now it is changing. In 21st century, we have polity, democratic, family, nuclear, changing. Economy is also global. Religion, multi. Okay, so this is a social order which is always changing. Done? So it is often said that change is the only unchanging aspect of society. Anyone living in modern society does not need to be reminded that constant change is among the most permanent feature of our society. Okay. Now we are trying to understand in sociology, how do we have to see that? So it is estimated that human beings have existed on planet about 500 years ago, like, so this is what you have to see, but constantly we are changing. That you can read it once. So human beings have existed on earth for about 500,000 years ago. Agriculture, the necessary basis of its settlement. Okay, if we were to think, so this is what you can see, that we are changing always. Now, first of all, you should be knowing social change as a definition. Okay. Now, what is social change here? What we are trying to understand in sociology. Okay. Very general term, but when we are trying to understand social changes, we are trying to see in a broader manner. Economy, polity, family, everything which is changing and bringing a structural change. Okay. So in sociology, we are referring to structural change. Write down. Social change refers to changes that are significant, that is, changes which alter the underlying structure of an object or situation over period of time. The social change does not include any or all changes, but only big ones. Okay. For example, from feudal, we have become industrial. And the impact. So when the feudal order got collapsed, the impact was huge. So changes have to be both intensive and extensive. Revolution is the name given to the kind of change. But here we are trying to understand how a living organism is evolving. Now Darwin has given a point, survival of the fittest. Okay. We do have social Darwinism given to us by Herbert Spencer. Please write down. Adaptive change. So whensoever society is adapting quickly, even suddenly, so it is used mainly in the political context when the power structure of society changes rapidly through the overthrow of former ruling. So French Revolution and the Soviet or Russian Revolution of 1917. But the term has been used generally to refer to sharp, sudden and total transformation. Okay, so that is what we have to understand. Just a moment, guys. Keep writing this point. Okay, so French Revolution and the Soviet of Russian Revolution in 1917. The types of change that are identified by their nature or impact include structural changes and changes of values and beliefs. So हम structural changes की बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Refers to transformation in the structure of society, to its institution or the rules by which these institutions are run. Okay. So what type of changes we are referring to? Structural changes, not the general term of social change. The emergence of paper money as currency marked a major change. Financial market, जैसे आप भी जो digital changes आ रहे हैं, digital economy, तो अब जो चेंजेस आ रहे हैं उससे, ठीक है। अब आप देखो ना, वी आर यूजिंग दिस ऑनलाइन मोड ऑफ ट्रांजेक्शन, यूपीआई। अब हम पहले तो यार इंडिया में ये टेलीफोनिक कॉन्वर्सेशन फ्री होनी चाहिए, आप कुछ तो दो। लेकिन अब क्या होता है, आप रिचार्ज करा रहे हो उसका भी पैसा लग रहा है। अब डिजिटल इकोनॉमी, अब जो डिजिटल ट्रांजेक्शन कर रहे हो उससे कितनी चीजें चेंज हुई है। ओके, इम्पैक्ट बहुत ह्यूज है। यू कांट लिव योर लाइफ विदाउट स्मार्टफोन। ओके, और आपको नहीं पता, अभी आई वाज जस्ट वाचिंग वन ऑफ द रील्स, उसमें देयर वाज अ पर्सन हु वाज शोइंग कि किस तरीके से ब्लिंकिट और ये जो लोग हैं हमको दिखाते हैं कि डिस्काउंटेड अमाउंट है, उसमें वो पैसे चार्ज करते हैं। रिटेलर्स बहुत ही आपको बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं। आप क्या करते हो, आप सिंपल पेमेंट कर देते हो। एक्चुअली दिस पीपल, ऑल दिस ऑनलाइन ट्रांजेक्शन विच इज हैपनिंग, आपको पता भी नहीं चलता और आपके जेब से पैसे चले जाते हैं, क्योंकि बड़ा इजी है ना, पेमेंट कर दिया, पेमेंट कर दिया, आपको पता भी नहीं है कि आपके कितने पैसे खर्च हो जाते हैं। ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। So changes in values and beliefs can also lead to social change. Changes in the ideas and beliefs about children and childhood have brought kinds of social change. There was a time when children were simply considered small adults. With industrialization, they are now, we have got the concept of childhood. 19th century में, because these people were, children were working in the factories. Concept of childhood have come up in 19th-20th century. You can write down here. And what we have to understand always, causes and effects. तो एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाइए. We are understanding social change, causes always, and effects. Write down this. Causes are pre-classified into internal changes, that is endogenous, then exogenous. और social change, environmental, technological, economic and political. ये पैराग्राफ लिख लीजिए. इंडिया में कास्ट सिस्टम जब चेंज हुआ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ जैनिज्म एंड बुद्धिज्म, ये इंटरनल चेंजेस हो गया, एंडोजीनियस. वेस्टर्नाइजेशन, क्रिश्चियनाइजेशन, मुस्लिम रूल, इस्लामाइजेशन वाज एक्सोजीनियस चेंजेस. वो चेंजेस बाहर से आए. लिखेंगे ये. लिख लिया. Nature, ecology and the physical environment have always had a significant influence on the structure and shape of society. This was particularly true in the past when human beings were unable to control or overcome the effects of nature. For example, people living in a desert environment were unable to practice settled agriculture. Okay, so we always have huge impact of nature. Okay, so the same was true for people living in a very cold climate. routes or mountain passes. So, but the extent to which the environment influences society has been decreasing over time. With increase in technological resources, technology allows us to overcome, adapt to the problem posed by nature. Okay, so on the other hand, technology also alters nature. Okay, so it is perhaps more accurate to say that the effect may have shaped society, but how did it play any role in social change? The easiest and most powerful answer to this question can be found in natural disasters. Sudden and catastrophic events such as earthquake, volcanic eruption, floods, or tidal waves, like tsunami, Andaman Island, and then you can say ki how changes are happening. So these changes are often irreversible, that is, they are permanent and don't allow return to the way things were. It is quite possible that many of those whose livelihood were destroyed by the tsunami will never be able to return to them again. Okay, so these are the problems whenever natural disasters happen. So environmental ecological factors need only to be destructive to cause of oil in the desert region of the environmental ecological factors need not only be to destructive to cause change that can be constructive. For example, if we are finding oil, so like the discovery of coal and this. Okay, so यहाँ से था nature of changing rather than simply declining. तो यहाँ पे environment का important role है. तो यहाँ पे आप अरवाली हिल्स का एग्जाम्पल लिख सकते हैं. हाँ हाँ हाँ, यू कैन से ना कि क्यों इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि एनवायरमेंट का जो इम्पैक्ट है वो सीधा हमारी लाइफ को चेंज करेगा. ओके, देयर आर लॉट मेनी वीडियोस पीपल आर मेकिंग ऑन दिस. So technology and economy. So the combination of technological and economical change has been responsible for immense social changes, especially in the modern period. Technology affects society in a wide variety of ways. As seen above, it can help us to resist, control, adapt, or to harness nature in different ways. In combination with the very powerful institution of the market, technological changes can be impressive in its social impact as natural factors like tsunami or the discovery of oil. Okay, now here you can see the discovery of steam power, right down here. The discovery of steam power allowed emerging forms of large scale industry to use of source of energy that was not only far stronger than animals or human beings, but was also capable of continuous operation without the need for rest. When harnessed to modes of transport like the steamship and the railway, it transformed the economy and social geography of the world. तो किस तरीके से steam power has changed economy and political structure, family of society. So the railroad enabled the westward expansion of industry and trade on the American continent and in Asia. In India too, the railways have played a very important role in shaping economy. Okay, so steamship made ocean voyages much faster and much more reliable, and we have seen the dynamics. Okay, किस तरीके से people have started trading, or you can see colonialism is actually an effect of economical technological discoveries. जब कोल डिस्कवर हुआ, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन आया ना, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन आया, फिर किस तरीके से माइग्रेशन स्टार्ट हुआ, वॉयजेस एक्सप्लोरेशन स्टार्ट हुआ, तो सोसाइटी का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो गया. राइट डाउन दिस, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू. The industrial revolution have brought a heavy changes in society in 18th century. So it's a resultant of technological changes, discoveries. Write down in your own words. You will see gunpowder and writing. It is a gift. It is a gift of East. China में था ये writing paper and this, but इसका commercialization use कब हुआ? जब वेस्टर्न यूरोप ने इसको यूज करना स्टार्ट किया. So for that vantage point, given the advantage of enabling circumstances, gunpowder helped to transform the technology of warfare, and the paper print revolution changed society forever. Another closer to home is the case of technological innovation in the textile industry in Britain. In combination with market force and imperial power, the new spinning and weaving machine destroyed the handloom industry of the Indian subcontinent part. I'm not moving more. You people have to write on this because this is very much related to your first topic, modernity, social changes and emergence of sociology. और फिर आप लोगों को पता चलेगा कि causes and effects कैसे पढ़ना है sociology में. Okay, Kanish, focus here. Causes and effects. Okay, technological changes वो cause था. इकोनॉमिकल चेंजेस वो कॉज था. इफेक्ट सोसाइटी चेंज हो गई, फ्यूडल से अर्बन हो गई, मॉडर्न हो गया. ओके, इंडिया वाज एंशिएंट सोसाइटी. यहाँ पे एक इस्लामाइजेशन और ये सारी चीजें थी, मुस्लिम रूल था. लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजिकल चेंजेस वेस्ट पे आया, ट्रेड आपका बड़ा हार्ट. तो कॉज एंड इफेक्ट. सो सोशियोलॉजिस्ट्स आर ऑलवेज लुकिंग इनटू द कॉजेज एंड इफेक्ट्स. ऑलवेज लुकिंग इनटू द कॉजेज एंड इफेक्ट्स. और जब आप कॉजेज एंड इफेक्ट्स पढ़ते हैं तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? साइंटिफिक. दिस इज व्हाट इवन नेचुरल साइंटिस्ट आर सेइंग. कॉजेज की सारी चीजें नीचे गिर रही है, मतलब ग्रेविटी की वजह से इफेक्ट नीचे गिर रहा है. फोर्स, मस्कुलर फोर्स, एक फोर्स लग रहा है तो शिफ्ट हुआ. रेजिस्टेंस, तो इसका कॉज क्या है, इसका इफेक्ट क्या है. तो व्हेन वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कॉजेज एंड इफेक्ट्स, वी आर अप्लाइंग पॉजिटिविस्ट मेथड. लिखिए ये आंसर. ये पेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है सारे. ये पूरे पेजेस के नोट्स बनाओ आप अभी क्लास में. ओके, क्लास नोट्स में इसको पूरे नोट्स बनाओ. राइट नाउ आई एम नॉट टीचिंग फर्दर. प्लीज कंप्लीट योर नोट्स. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पेज. मेक अ क्रिस्पी नोट्स, कॉजेज एंड इफेक्ट्स करके. नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसको फर्दर डिस्कस करेंगे.